Our first cup is warmed up and ready to go for our first color today. And we are going old school and going to do a color demo. Now, we've had a lot of new subs here recently, so if that's you, you may not have any idea what the heck I'm talking about, so let me briefly explain. When we look at pigments online and we want to see what these colors look like, we're always looking at a static picture. So it's hard to really understand what does that color really look like, because when you see it on video and we can move it around and experiment with it, it really helps to understand the pigments better. So I had an idea quite a while back to start a series on the channel called Be a Better Baitmaker, and it's these color demos where we're not making fancy stuff, we're not doing a bunch of flakes and da-da-da-da-da. This is just for you guys and me to understand the pigments that we're looking at that day and want to know what it really looks like. So I've got 4 colors to demo today. There's what I would consider kind of a changeable, it's pretty cool. And then I've got 3 dyes. So without further ado, let's jump into our first one. And that first one is Mint Brown by Lureworks. Let's drop, say 12 drops into this cup. Yeah, this is what I remember. See that? Look at the brown, or look at the green. That's the mint, and obviously the brown. Super cool color if you can get the saturation on this guy just right. Let's add to it just some simple flake. So on the more natural colors, what we've historically done is some medium black flake, just 1/8 of a teaspoon of that to the cup. If it was more of a swim baity type color, which we kind of do have one today, then we use silver instead of black. And that's not to change the color that we're looking at, it's just to give a little bit of texture, a little bit of context, and help us see the color that much better. In the past, we've always used the 3.5-inch Epic Rocket to help us see the colors best, because it has a thin part in the tails or the claws, and then that body is a lot thicker and helps us see what it looks like in a more saturated way. We are going to use that bait today because Epic, way back when this whole thing started, they actually partnered with me on the series because they want to help you guys be better bait makers as well, and provided the molds that we got this whole thing kicked off with. So we're gonna do that one first. After that though, I thought we would mix it up, and I've got 3 other molds rather to look at today with those other 3 colors. This guy is shot and cooled down. It is ready to check out. We will do that in just a second, but I wanted to mention before I do, if this kind of series sounds like it's of interest, I actually have a whole playlist already created with the previous episodes and all those other colors that we've already hit. So if you like this kind of stuff, you want to see some other colors like this, then be sure to go check out the playlist on the channel so you can get familiar with those other colors. Oh, is it going to be that side? There we go. Oh, very nice. I know we're not making fancy baits today, but this is a good color, and this bait, this color rather, would totally work just exactly how we made it today. Man, look at that guy. I haven't used mint brown in so long. I used to shoot it all the time, but I got away from it for some reason, and this is bringing back good memories. This was 12 drops, and I was worried that that was maybe a little too saturated. If you had a bait that was thick all the way through, you're not going to see those green highlights, and you might want to reduce the saturation down to 8 drops, 10 maybe, or maybe less. You'll have to play with that. But at 12 drops with a thin portion, it turned out dynamite. I put my hand there, it's kind of hard to see that there's a big difference, but then I take my hand away and let's see if I can do it, and then the light passes through, right? And it makes all the difference in the world. All right, with one down, what is next? We are jumping into the dyes now. Our first one is Blue Fleck. So let's talk about these dyes for a second, because it's my understanding that if it's labeled dye, D-Y-E, that means it's a bleeder. I believe this is true also for like changeables, even on the MF side, the cutthroat trout, motor oil on the Lureworks side. So you've got to be careful when you use those, especially if you are laminating with them, because over time, ask me how I know, they will combine. I've never used this before, have no idea what it's going to look like, so let's start with just 10 drops. Alright, this will be exciting. What do we have here? Blue Fleck Dye. Well, that doesn't look anything like I thought it would. How interesting is that? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty saturated. I can kind of see the stir down through there. That was 10. Let's go to 12. Take it slow. I'm looking for the blue. I'm wondering why it was called Blue Fleck. It was called Blue Fleck, right? Yeah, Blue Fleck, F-L-E-C-K dye. Very interesting. I don't know that I want to go any more saturated than that because I can't really see the stir down below. So let's roll with it. Black medium, 1/8 teaspoon, just like before. Alright, only thing left to do now is to shoot it, and it will be in one of the other 3 molds that I chose. Alright, let's check out this color in a bait, since it was a little surprising in a cup. Oh yeah, using the Dragon Craw to do so. And I continue to struggle with the name. So this is a great case in point. Maybe you bought it and you don't remember what it looked like. It was just sitting with everything else, and you really wanted a blue bait. Blue Fleck would not be my choice. I mean, it's cool. It looks awesome, right? I mean, give me a break. That was, it's like a cranberry. Definitely a cool color, you know, just not blue and not really flecks of blue or anything that the name would seem to imply, but one for the books. Next cup is warmed up, ready to rock and roll. I was thinking about these dyes, since 3 out of the 4 that we're dealing with today are dyes, and the fact that they don't really play well with other pigments like we were talking about. They just don't laminate really well. Unless you're going to use your baits right away, then it's fine, but if they're going to hang around for any amount of time, you are at risk of them bleeding through and kind of ruining the lamination. I think we could use stuff like Hollow Shift, or stuff like Lureworks Diamond Pearl, stuff like that, enhancers that you can put into the dye. Even though it's only 1 cup and 1 color, those powders have so many other colors. It could really take what was 1 color in the cup to a whole nother level. Now you have multiple colors without the need to laminate. So what you just saw there was 10 drops of Jelly Apple Red dye. Right off the bat, I noticed very translucent at 10 drops compared to the other ones. So here's another 10. I'm also kind of sitting up here a little bit. Need to warm this guy up to get a better look. Hold on one sec. There we go. That's better. And this one is interesting. So we've got some light pinks around the edges. And I don't know, hopefully you guys can see. Right in the middle, it's almost like there's a shade of brown right here in the middle that gets a lot lighter on the outside. It's reminding me of Chameleon. That's a lot like the way the Chameleon works, where it's kind of that purplish, pinkish outside, and then the inside is that brownish core. You really see that come through with Black Flake. I was originally planning to use Silver Flake for this one, but I kind of want to see if the black will do the same thing. So let's do that instead. Does it work the same way? Yep. Sure did for me. Did it did for you? You guys? Oh yeah. You can see that brown now. See the brown came out? Very interesting. So if you like Chameleon as much as I do, who knew there was another one out there that does something very similar? Instead of purplish pink, maybe this one is kind of reddish pink with that brown core. I don't know. I'm pumped to see it in a bait. And a bait we have, and it is a big one. 6-inch fat hog. As a Mondo big mold for a Mondo big bait. Oh my lands. Fluorescent, anybody? Holy moly. That is cool. See this darker brownish? It's almost more like an orange. See this right here? And then that bright pink, orange, brown. You got a lot of things going on with this color. This is cool. Wow. You got the pink thing going on, and then you got the orange, and back to pink. Depends on if you got light coming through or not. Look at that. It reminds me of, hold on, I'll find it. Here it is. Cerise. You guys remember this one? Well, if you haven't seen the other color demos, you wouldn't remember this one because we did it on a previous one. But it reminds me of that, very much so. It was a pink to orange kind of shift, but I don't remember this one looking quite this cool. Jelly Apple Red. It's a good one. Last color for our last dye. We have one more to go, and this one is yet another that I've never seen before, so we will be learning about it together. It's called Black Plumb. Based on the bottom, from what I can see, I'm guessing it's going to be kind of similar to the second color, the Blue Fleck, which was pretty darn thick. So instead of going straight to 10, let's actually start out with 5 and take it a little slower. Yeah, pretty darn thick as anticipated, but I mean, I can still see the stir. Cool. Let's thicken it up a little bit, go another 5, so 10 total. Here's what it looks like with 10 total. Yeah, definitely richened it up. Yeah, let's go just 2 more, 12. Yeah, I think that's going to do it. Don't want to go any further than that and risk losing some of the nuances, but wow, that's really, really nice. All right, let's add some flake. Should we do black? Should we do that silver that I wanted to do? Kind of feel like we need to do silver at least once. Let's do silver, but only a 16th because silver goes a little bit further, and the black that we were using was medium. This is small, and small will kind of spread out and saturate stuff a little bit more. That just looks like it's going to look good. Yep, that was a good call. Like it. You didn't think we could get through a whole video without seeing the glory craw, do you? Sorry, I have to do it. Oh, baby. That is one heck of a color. Jeez. This one does live up to its name, Black Plum. So you have that plum, red, purple, but it's on the dark side. Wow. That's gorgeous. That is an awesome, awesome color. But again, it's a dye, so you're going to have to use it carefully. But boy, it's worth the effort. Black Plumb Dye. And there you are, all of them from our color demo today. I do encourage you to go check out the rest of the playlist if it's something that kind of scratches where you itch. Until now, or until then rather, I've got plenty to clean up around here, so do appreciate you watching. Until the next build, I'll see you guys in the shop.